The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had departed from him, lift up your eyes from where you are, and look north and south, east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go, walk through the length and the breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. Genesis 13, verse 14 to 17. Grace of multiplication. And the key of today is separation from wrath, which today we call deliverance from a saboteur or a sabotager or an agent of sabotage. If you look Genesis 12, you will notice Abraham, he had a certain accompaniment called his nephew, Lot, who was a son of his brother. And apart from the original prophecy that had been decreed by God when he was still in his homeland, God was not explicit about his purpose or dimension, extensiveness, and intensity about his work with Abram. And at verse 14, Genesis 13, verse 14, we see something that is not familiar. Abram separates from Lot. And if we can speak deeper, we can say separation from bloodline or blood related sabotage. They had some quarrel, Lot's herdsmen and Abram's herdsmen, because they had both accumulated properties, because Lot was actually like a tick on the grace of Abram. So whenever Abram would get blessed, you would notice the same would flow to Lot. And this was like limiting God's flow, because the original calling of Abram was in 12 verse 1, leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. So he was to leave his country, which he did when he moved from Ur of Chaldeans, and then he moved from Haran to Canaan. He was to leave his people, which he did. He left the creed and the tribes of where they were living in the Ur of Chaldeans, or he left the Chaldeans or the Babylonians, but he did not leave his father's household. He carried along with him Lot, a nephew to him, a son of his brother. So the thing I want us to note here is this. When Lot left, after they separated, Lot left and went to Sodom and Gomorrah. Immediately, if you look at Genesis 13 verse 14, it's very, very pivotal. The Bible says, the Lord said to Abram after Lot had departed from him. There is a dimension that God is waiting until when Lot shall part from you. There is a dimension of expansiveness, a dimension of extension of boundaries, a dimension of numerical increase, a dimension of being countless and being boundless, a dimension of being unlimited, a dimension of going beyond, a dimension of breaking records, a dimension of stretching out far and wide, long and depth. The Lord is telling him, you will spread it to the north and to the south and to the east and to the west. So you shall have an all around expansion. And he's saying your increase shall be in the state of dust of the earth, as countless as the dust of the earth. God spoke out that prophetic declaration on Abram when Lot left. And this is what I want to declare. Every Lot we are living with, who is forbidding us from expanding, us from stretching out, us from going beyond, may that rot live now. Because it is until Lot left, God spoke out in details. There are some certain kind of business expansion we will not be able to experience until a certain staff is sacked. There is ministry expansion we will not be able to experience until a certain rot, a certain Diotrephes has left. There is a certain economic expansion we will not be able to experience until a certain lot, a certain tick in our lives is removed. There is, let us define Lot. Who is Lot? Is nephew to Abram. So we can say this is a blood-related agent of sabotage. And as long as Lot is with you, you just experience no more grace. But the moment Lot leaves, the moment Lot departs, God have full access into you, and God purges himself into your life without any control or any measure. Who is Lot in your life? That if that Lot would leave, Lot can be in the form of a friend, Lot can be in the form of a spouse, Lot can be in the form of a staff, Lot can be in the form of a demon, Lot can be in the form of an ancestral spirit or a familiar monitoring spirit. Lot can be in the form of a spiritual husband or a spiritual wife. Lot can be in the form of a strong man. Lot can be in the form of your closest confidant. Lot can take any form. And Lot is primarily in your life to control the rate by which you flow with. So is there as a muzzling object. You try to move with full speed. Lot is there to control your speed. You move with the minimal possible speed. Sluggardness, the speed of a snail. Let Lot leave us so that we can spread to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. And so that numerically we can increase beyond counting. We can increase beyond counting ability. Lot must leave.